What is your American dream?
My American dream is one day opening my Fifth Avenue craft couture shop, classy men and women's style. The first African-inspired clothes-on accessories on Fifth Avenue. Right in front of Trump Tower.
Successful and free, you know? Yeah, it's all about being successful.
My American dream is to be one of the best known chef there is. Yeah, that's where I want to be now. I want to be known.
And to be the best I can be.
My dream is to be with my family and be able to take care of my family the best way I possibly can. I've had 2 more children since I've come here, and being in the United States has its benefits for my children.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. My mic, I forgot. I haven't been doing this enough to remember to unmute my mic, but I just did now. February 18th, 2021. It is Brad Show Live. My name is Brad Bernstein. We have a lot to talk about today. Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias and Vanessa Nesquik Contreras back from assignment, so to speak. Sort of speak assignment.
Hey,
How
gentlemen.
are you doing? Everybody looks so happy today. Well, you're always happy. It's not Hump Day today. It's Wacky World News Thursday today.
It's snow day, I said.
Oh, I thought you
so
said
we
it's Hump Day. I'm like, no, it's not Hump Day. You're off a day. It's Snow Day. I'm having trouble hearing. Maybe I'm getting up in age. I don't know. But I don't think so, right?
No.
No. But why you guys look so happy? Is it just the snow? You got to lounge around the house? You look extra happy today.
Thursdays are my long day, so it's definitely not lounging around the house.
It's not lounging around.
I have 2 shows to shoot.
I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling refreshed that way. I just took it easy today. I was like, you know what? It's just that kind of day.
All right. Well,
Right.
Yo-Yo.
Yes.
What do you got? What are you wearing? What's on your shirt? What does it say? Black History Week, Black History Month, Black History. I can't see the last thing.
Earth Day.
What's it say?
Earth
Day.
Earth Day. What's Earth Day?
Every day.
Oh, every day. Oh, got it. Got it.
So it's saying Black History Week. X that out.
I got it. I'm a little slow.
Black History Day.
Got it. I understand. And Vanessa, do you have any messages on your clothing today?
I do not. I'm just me.
You're just you are the message. I like that. All right, let's say hello to the squad. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Sasha Ford, squad up. It's Apple Pie. How are you? Elizabeth Francis, squad up. What's going on? Doreen Dappa, Violet Blackwood, Latoya, His Forever Peterson. I said Sasha Ford. Choo choo, saying hey squad. And by the way, we're going to talk about it a lot. The amnesty bill got submitted to Congress today. I'm going to say hello to the squad in a second. But they came out, word for word, everything that's in that bill. I read through 350 pages in 45 minutes before the show started just to make sure I can tell everybody exactly what's in it. So stay tuned. Tanisha Brown, squad up. Jessica Leamy, Joel Reed, squad up, my loves. How are you? Lyneth Tayfat, watching. Yemi Olafa, also watching. Ma Dukes, Olivia Love, what's going on? Who else we got here? Who else is part of the squad that I see? Violet Blackwood, how are you? Becky, it's a new person. Becky Fezzo Jai, saying hello to everybody. Hello, Becky. How are you? Welcome. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, squad up. And who else we got here on Facebook? Kirk Nelson, Missy Jean saying squad up, and Tigo Goodies. Squad up to everybody. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Shan Smith saying, hey, Brad, squad up. Denise Johnson, squad up. Jeremy Goldberg, also known as J Rhymes, with his poetry. Who's going to do his poetry today, guys?
Should we wait? Should we hold it for comments of the day?
No,
Yeah,
because I see the poetry, so I'm excited to read it now. I can't hold out 2 years. I can't hold out 2 hours to now wait for his poetry at the end. If I don't see it, it goes to the end, but I happen to see it. All right, I'll read it today.
Read it.
Today in New York, the snow is falling, but the Brad Squad is always calling. To help them out, he will comply because Brad Bernstein's a great guy.
Wow.
Hey.
Very, very good poetry. I like the poetry. Very good. I want you to know something. I didn't think he would be able to up it beyond what he's done, and he's did it today. I say that almost every week now. I mean, sometimes he has some duds, but but when he gives me a good one like that,
I love it.
very, very good, J Rhymes. Very, very good. He worked hard on that one. You know, it's snow day, so he didn't have a lot to do. He was home. So he was, he was working hard on that one. Abdul Latif, squad up, how are you? Mark Clark saying Uncle Brad. Then I'll say Mark Clark back. He just says Uncle Brad.
Listen, that's it. That's all you got to say.
That's all you got to say. Tia Prasad saying hello, Uncle Brad. Hello, Tia. How are you? Dwayne Gordon, what up? Squad up. He's giving J Rhymes a run for his money today.
Uh-oh.
Dwayne Gordon.
Who else is trying
what
to
up,
get in
squad up?
The poetry jam?
I don't know. Wouldn't that be great? Everyone just starts giving poetry on Thursday.
Maybe we should start that.
We should start that. Asila Enots. I think J Rhymes should start, challenging. Should do some challenges, some poetry challenges on Thursday.
I'd like to see some poetry squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, J Rhymes, get in the comments.
Right.
Start challenging.
Right. And then he could come out with his first rhyme, and someone else, and then he could come out with like the best rhyme, and he just mic drop rhyme.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
King Kweku saying hi, Uncle Brad. Nesquick in the comments. Thank you, Nesquick. Olivia Love. Pleasant evening to all. And Lillian Obeda. Jilgo Productions, also known as Jilly Bean, saying squad up family as well. Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Yes.
Take it away, guys.
All right, squad. You already know what time it is. I need you all to please share, because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. He's going to fill us in on the latest headlines, including the Biden White House announcing its immigration bill today.
And it's Wacky World Thursday, so get ready for some crazy stories like why one woman decided to strap cacti all over her body.
Wait, what? A woman did what to her? What?
She strapped cacti like cactus.
A cacti is, it's cactus, like a cacti.
Yeah. Like a cactus.
All over her body.
Huh. That's wacky. We'll find out soon enough.
I can't wait for you to get to that one.
Yeah.
Listen, it's so funny though. If she had read that headline on Hump Day, it would have meant something else.
It would have been. It just depends what day it is, right?
It depends on what day.
And if it was on Monday, we would have thought it was like, why are you putting a cat on your body? What are you doing? Because it's Fuzzy Monday.
Just depends on the day.
Depends on the day. You're right.
Depends on the day here.
And of course, you could always call Spar and Bernstein. The number you see, we just saw the scroll. Let's see the scroll again. The number is going to start scrolling across right there at the bottom. You see where my finger is? Call Spar and Bernstein for a consultation, 1-800-529-5465. You could also see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head on his body carrying a sign. Call with your immigration questions. That means in the next probably 30 minutes or so, I will be answering people's immigration questions at the same telephone number, 1-800-529-5465. We always take the first 14 calls. So if you call now, maybe you will be one of the first 14 calls into Brad Show Live. And remember, if you'd like to play a virtual game with one of us on our show, just DM us in the comment section, or let us know in the comment section. DM us in any private chat you'd like, and we will get in touch with you, and you can play a virtual game with us. It is crew 1, squad 1, and a tie. It's 1-1-1. Yes. We need to break this. Our Bradshaw crew is very confident. We had a meeting, and they all feel that they can beat any squad member who shows up.
Yikes!
I don't want to call anybody out, but they said they can beat any squad member who shows up. So we'll see. And later, I'm going to speak with internationally acclaimed, award-winning Bulgarian-American violinist Bella Hristova about her immigration story. All right, guys, are you ready to start schmoozing? This is going to be an important schmooze.
Yes.
This is a very important schmooze. Now, I want you to know something, okay? We've been talking about this, Biden immigration bill. It's the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. And we didn't really know what was going to be in it. And I have to say, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, Julian, if you can come back to Yo-Yo and Vanessa a second, we're going to have a conversation here. If what I'm going to tell you right now is not ultimately what the bill is going to be. This is going to be pie in the sky for the Democrats, and we hope most of it can pass. We don't know everything. But this is a bill that was introduced by Joe Biden into Congress today. Around 4:30 this afternoon, we started noticing on the internet the actual bill. You can look it up now. You can Google it. You can read the bill. It's 365 pages long. I had 1 hour to read the entire bill, all right? Because I found it on the internet around 4:30, 4:40. So I read through the whole entire thing because I said the squad's going to want to know. All right. So I read through it fast. I'm going to tell you everything I learned from reading through it. But I have to tell you, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, we're going to know a lot more on Monday because I'm going to have a better chance to read it thoroughly. This is my take on it. One time through, reading extraordinarily fast. You have to see. Oh, you can't see because it's green. But if you looked at my papers, you would. I'm hoping I could read my handwriting on all my notes that I took on this. This is, I took notes on it. So please strap yourself in. There's a lot to know, and this is the thing from the political point of view. Why everybody is excited, because every year they submit immigration bills and they go nowhere. And there's not been an immigration amnesty since 1986. So we are now going on almost 40 years without an amnesty. The last major change in immigration that actually benefited immigrants was right before 9/11. So we're now 23, 24 years in from an immigration law change that actually benefited somebody. So, and every year that they wanted to do something, it was always blocked by Republicans and immigration restrictionists. This is the first time in my adult life that the Democrats, who have always wanted to overhaul the immigration laws, have controlled the presidency, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. This is why people are so excited. Now, Nancy Pelosi needs to carry every Democrat in the House of Representatives. They only hold a 50. They only hold 5 votes in more than the Republicans. So they got to carry almost every Democrat in the House. And in the Senate, you need 60 votes to pass a bill. The Democrats only have 51. But there's some parliamentary maneuvers that they can pass a bill through what's called reconciliation if they really want to do it, on party lines. But you're going to need some Republicans to come over if you're going to want to pass most or all of this. This is why this is pie in the sky. We hope most of it will pass. Now, one thing you're going to start hearing a lot about this term, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, It's a new immigration term. We're going to start hearing about it every day. There is lawful resident status. Those are people with green cards. There is conditional resident status. We've heard those terms before. Those are people who get green cards and are only married for 2 years to their spouse. You're also a conditional resident if you're an entrepreneur and invest $1 million in a U.S. business. There is now going to be a new status, and that new status is going to be called the lawful prospective immigration status. And we're going to have more people in that status than conditional resident status, that is for sure. Because it is the lawful prospective immigrant status that most people are going to get if this amnesty passes. Let's go through it one by one. If you were physically here out of status on January 1st, 2001, this is the exact law that was submitted to the Senate and the House of Representatives, and you are able to pass a background check, and we're going to talk about what that background check is going to entail. And if you're able to do that, you will get employment authorized immediately. You will get travel authorization immediately. So you will be able to travel home. You will be able to travel back no matter how you came to America. You will be able to get a social security number, a driver's license. You will be able to get health insurance or apply on the Obamacare exchange. You will be legal in a lawful prospective immigrant status. You will also not be subject to deportation. As a matter of fact, anyone who makes an application while it's pending would not be subject to deportation. And if you get granted this lawful prospective immigrant status, it will be good for up to 6 years. Between years number 5 and 6, you must file a new application. They're going to give you 365 days between years 5 and 6 to apply from lawful prospective immigrant status, which basically is lawful resident status, except it ends in 6 years. So it ends. So you then have to make a new application for lawful resident status. And as long as you remained in the United States for up to 180 days each year over those 5 years in lawful prospective immigrant status, and you don't have a criminal record that would bar you from adjusting your status, you would then be able to adjust your status to a green card holder. Now, at that point, you may say, I'm done. I don't need to do anything else. And you don't have to. You have a green card for life. You're done with immigration, unless you want to become a U.S. citizen. If you want to become a U.S. citizen, 3 years after you adjust your status from lawful prospective immigrant status to lawful resident status, you can become a United States citizen. Now, one of the other things that was big in the bill is that in order to go from lawful prospective immigrant status to lawful resident status, you got to pay all your taxes. So if you're not going to pay taxes or you're going to work off the books, you will ultimately get screwed in the end, because your lawful prospective immigrant status will end at 6 years, and then you won't be able to get a green card and you'll be out of status again. Now, here is something that we never discussed before. If you were deported from the United States, you still may be eligible for the amnesty. If you were deported after January 20th, 2017, and were physically present in the United States for 3 years before that, meaning if you were deported after January 20th, 2017, and you were in the U.S. for 3 years before you got ordered deported, and you were not deported because of an aggravated felony, you may have the right to apply for the amnesty from abroad, from your country of where you are right now, and And if you need a waiver for criminal offense, which would be a minor criminal offense, not an aggravated felony, you can get one based on humanitarian concerns. And then if that is the case, you can then return to the United States. You would return to the United States in lawful prospective immigrant status, have to wait 5 years, show you paid your taxes, showed you did not have any other criminal offense, and then adjust your status to a lawful resident. So in essence, what they're doing is they're saying all of the people who got ordered deported during the Trump administration, because what is January 20th, 2017? That's when Trump became president. So basically, if Trump deported you, all the Trump deportees, or many of them, not all of them, those with severe, heavy criminal records won't be able to return, but those who got deported just for being out of status, such as we saw our military veterans, or the wife of the military veteran who we had on. Those people would be able to come back. We're going to call them the Trump deportees. They will be able to come back under this lawful prospective.
This is huge for the squad. Wow.
Under this lawful prospective immigrant status. So that is for everybody who has been out of status in the United States as of January 1st, 2021. We did read in the news that they're going to require you to be in the United States for 4 years before January 1st, 2021. I have to be honest with you, I didn't read it. I was racing through this law, so I didn't read every last word. I was skipping paragraphs. I didn't see it there. I'm sure it's there. All right? So I'm going to go based on what I saw in the news, although I didn't actually read it. I will know a lot more on Monday. But based on the news, they said you had to be physically here for 4 years before the passage as well. That is going to be the new amnesty. But there's so much more. We're going to be talking about this for 30 minutes. Okay?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay.
Just even that's amazing.
All right, now, for Daca recipients. If you are a member of Daca, you were a member of Daca, but you didn't renew your Daca. As long as you were in the Daca program at one point in time, you will be immediately eligible to adjust your status, provided you're able to prove you did 2 years of college, 2 years in the military, you have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and you graduated from high school. You will be eligible to adjust immediately. So all the Daca recipients, there's no waiting. You just go straight for a green card. Every other person who came to the United States and was under the age of 18 on January 1st, 2021, will be eligible for also lawful prospective immigrant status. The difference is that you don't have to show you were here for 4 years earlier, and as soon as you earned a 2 years associate's degree, a 4 years bachelor's degree, or 2 years in the military, or maybe you already have it, you would then go from lawful prospective immigrant status. You don't have to wait that 5 years, and you can apply for your adjustment of status immediately. So it is an immediate amnesty for anybody who is in the Daca program, and it is a potential immediate amnesty for anyone who came here under the age of 18. And in the news, they were talking about 17, but it's under the age of 18. And you have to have obviously got an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. After 3 years of lawful resident status in the amnesty program, in adjusting through DACA or the DREAM Act, you can apply for your citizenship if you choose to. If you are a member of TPS and you were in the United States as of January 1st, 2017, whether or not you ultimately renewed your TPS or not, because there's lots of people who had TPS, temporary protected status, and then they let it lapse. Those people in TPS, temporary protected status, they were here on January 1st, 2017, including their spouses and children, are eligible to adjust their status immediately to that of a green card holder, and then 3 years later apply for citizenship. You only need one member of the family, the husband or the wife, to have been in TPS, and then the spouse can come along, as well as all of the children under 21.
I have Kamar Joseph in the comments saying the Republicans are going to tear up this bill. Hopefully the Democrats fight with all their might.
Well, let me say this. If the Democrats want to, they have the numbers to pass this exactly as it is, without any Republican support, provided all of the Democrats are in favor of this. Because they can do it through something called reconciliation. They have a majority in the House, they have a one-seat majority in the Senate, and they have the presidency. So they can do it without Republican support. The key thing will be, will all the Democrats join along? There's some Democrats who may not like all of this. If you are an agricultural worker and you work on a farm, and you worked on a farm for 400 days in the last 5 years, or 2,300 hours in the last 5 years, you can adjust your status immediately to get a green card. Yes, Yo-Yo.
So Sherma, I'm gonna ask, because these aren't actual social media questions. It's just off what you're talking.
Yeah,
Sherma is asking, what if you came at 19 years old?
If you came at 19, you would fall under the new amnesty as long as you were here before January 1st, 2021, and you were here illegally on January 21st, 2021. Illegally, I don't even want to use that word anymore. You were undocumented. They're not supposed to use that word anymore. All right, we were even talking about it yesterday. And I even said yesterday, I sometimes catch myself saying it.
Yeah. Because you see it so much, you read it.
That's right.
So yeah.
So yeah, you would fall under the regular amnesty. You wouldn't fall under the DREAM Act amnesty. There's actually 4 different amnesty programs. There is the regular amnesty, which we just talked about, the amnesty for the people who are in Daca, the amnesty for children who came here under the age of 18, who were not part of Daca, because maybe you never applied, or maybe you were too old. There's people I speak to are 40, 50 years old who came here as kids. They were too old for Daca, but they would be eligible for this DREAM Act amnesty. There's actually 5. I just actually realized it's 5. It's not even 4. There's the TPS amnesty, the temporary protected status amnesty, and the agricultural worker amnesty. 5 different amnesty programs. Now, who is not eligible? We're just going to talk. There's a lot of different people who may not be eligible. The key one is people who have criminal convictions. Mm-hmm. If you have a felony conviction, you are not eligible for any of these amnesty programs. If you have more than 3 misdemeanors, you are not eligible. So you can have 2 misdemeanors, but not 3. You are not eligible for this amnesty program. Despite all of this, there are waivers for everybody, including felons. Okay. So there would be a waiver, not to say the waiver would be approved, but there is waivers if you can show that you are rehabilitated. Perhaps you committed this felony 35 years ago. You can show rehabilitation and a clean record for a very long period of time. And you can show hardship to yourself and your family. They would give you a waiver, even as a felon, or with more than 3 misdemeanors. If you had a felony in 6 months ago, I don't think you're going to be able to show rehabilitation. So that rehabilitation component is for people who committed crimes a long time ago. Now, the question everyone's going to be asking is, how do I prove all of this? How do I prove I was here? The law gives a list of documents. This law gives a list of documents that they will accept, and I'm going to go through them all, exactly what they're going to accept to prove you were here under the amnesty. Obviously, passport entry stamps. You have visas. You have stamps in your passport. I-94s, that's going to prove a lot. Any document you have from the Department of Homeland Security with your name and a date on it. Any document you have from USCIS, from ICE. Anything that you have from the U.S. government with your name and a date on it will be able to prove something. Any educational records, school records, whether it is your child or you. Because if it's your child, the school records would indicate the child's going home to mom or dad. So basically, anybody with a child in America who enrolled their kid in public school or private school, doesn't matter. There's going to be school records, who the parents are, and where the kid goes home every night. Employment records, and this is really important what I'm going to say about these employment records, because everyone's going to say, my boss isn't going to give me anything. They're terrified. Under this law, whatever an employer gives you to prove that you were physically here, that you would qualify for the amnesty, that employer does not have any criminal or civil liability that can be put against him. So the employer gets an amnesty as well. The employer's amnesty is cooperate in this amnesty. Your employees will get a green card. Give us these documents. Prove your employees were here. And you will not be fined. You will not go to jail. So they're encouraging employers to give these documentation to prove that people were working, rather than fear that if they give this document that the employer may get in trouble.
Right.
Military records they're going to use if you were in the military. Church records. And it's not going to be church records that there's a list of you on a church registry, and it's not going to be in letter from your pastor. But if you have records that you participated in some form of religious ceremony, in a church, in a temple, in a synagogue, wherever you go and whatever your religion is, they will use those records as well to prove you were here. Rental receipts, purchases of homes, insurance receipts, taxes, Western Union and remittances back home. So if you have evidence that you made payments through Western Union, or I don't know, whatever the other ones are, PayPal, or I don't know, whatever it is, but if you have remittances back home, make sure you save those receipts. Travel records. If you flew by on an airplane, you bought a train ticket, a bus ticket, save them. That will be proof under the law that you were physically here. Bank transactions. I think I said that, but if I didn't, any bank transaction will prove you were here. And worse comes to worse, an extraordinarily detailed affidavit from two people confirming your presence in America. So every person should be able, if they were here on January 1st, 2021, should be able to prove that they were here one way or the other. As I said earlier, as soon as your application goes into immigration, ICE can't touch you. You cannot be deported while immigration is making a decision on any one of these 5 amnesty applications. The most important thing you got to remember, even though you're going to get travel permission, is you can't stay out of the country more than 180 days in any calendar year. But there's going to be more than just the amnesty, Yo-Yo and Vanessa. Back in 2001, when I said the last time they made any law that benefited immigrants, they came up with a new visa. It was called a V visa. And it allowed people who were spouses and children of permanent residents who had pending cases to come live in the United States and wait out their immigration case here in America. The V visa expired. Nobody can do it anymore. They're bringing it back. And what they're doing is anybody who has filed for their adult children, whether you're a resident or a U.S. citizen. We've been talking about this for a while. Married adult children, 15, 17-year wait. Your adult child of a permanent resident, 7, 8, 9-year wait. Adult child, single of a U.S. citizen, 7, 8, 9-year wait for a green card. In some countries, it's 20, 30 years. Mexico, Philippines, long, long waits.
Yes, I remember.
Everybody on the visa waiting list with an approved I-130, if you were filed for by your parent and you're an adult child, will be eligible for a V visa, V as in victory. What that is, it is a temporary visa to come to the United States. It gives you work permission, it gives you travel permission, and allows you to live in the United States waiting out your green card. That is for not people in the future who file, that's for people who file. That's why I kept telling everybody in the last couple weeks, put something in, file.
Right.
You're gonna be in a lot better shape. And here, I'm right again. I hate to say it. I don't want to be a bragger, but I'm right again. Because if you file for your kids and you get your case approved before this law gets passed, they'll still be on a waiting list, but their waiting list is going to be here in America with you, legally working and being able to travel. One of the things we always talk about on our show is the difference between expungement and vacators. Vacators, if you remember, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, vacators are, my conviction was illegal. You violated my rights, and this conviction should be wiped off the books because my rights were violated. And we said that is the only way to overcome a conviction that bars you from immigration benefits. An expungement under the law currently means you were convicted and then you made an application to a state or federal authority to say, I complied with all the requirements, I would like you to wipe this conviction off my record. But under the Immigration and Nationality Act, it's still a conviction. You pled guilty or you were found guilty and you did a sentence. End of story. That expungement doesn't wipe away the immigration consequences. Now, under the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021, they will accept an expungement to wipe away the consequences for immigration. So it is very possible that you pled guilty or found guilty and you could expunge your conviction.
Wow.
You no longer have that conviction for immigration purposes. There are so many people, I can't even begin to tell you, who have called our show and said, I got an expungement. I'm like, nah, sorry, that don't work. You got to vacate it. We've done that. I've said that like 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Now they're going to allow expungements as well.
There's going to be so many different conversations from the squad coming into your office.
I know.
All of this
I know.
through. Hopefully, this is such a time for immigration.
Right now, to get a waiver, if you have consequences, misrepresentation, you've lied to the government, you have a criminal record, there's all sorts of reasons why you would be denied a green card. Basically, right now, to do a 601 waiver, you need to show extreme and unusual hardship to a spouse or a parent, period. You don't have a spouse or a parent, you can't get a waiver, you're screwed. They are now changing the waiver laws. The waiver laws will be based on humanitarian reasons. So you can get a waiver no matter what your issue is if you can show humanitarian purposes on why you would need a waiver, or to ensure family unity, or if you can show it's in the public interest. They are going to look at in waivers moving forward, instead of extreme and unusual hardship, the severity of your underlying offense that prevents you from coming to America, your duration of residence in the United States of America, your evidence of rehabilitation, meaning the longer the conviction happened and you don't show that that you did it again, that would show rehabilitation. So if you convict old convictions and clean record, shows rehabilitation. And of course, the effect on your family. 3.5 million people or more, I think it's 3.8 million people, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, are right now on a visa waiting list for a green card. The waiting lists for Employment from India, they say, is 80, 90, 100 years. People are going to die before they get their green cards. Some other ones are 20, 30 years. Every year, they give out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of green cards, and 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 green cards go unused every year. For every unused green card that was not given out between 1992 and the year 2000, and they estimate that that's going to be over 1 million green cards, they're going to put back and try to wipe away this backlog of people who have been waiting 20, 30 years, or even 5, 7, 8 years. So the backlogs, because they're going to use these unused visas, unused green cards between 1992 and 2000, they're going to wipe away a lot of the backlog on these cases where employment-based and family-based cases. Now, one thing they're also going to do is they're going to make spouses and children under 21 immediate relatives. What does that mean? If you're in the F2A category, you're no longer on a waiting list. If you're in the F2A category, you're eligible to adjust your status here in the United States if you're married to a resident or you're a child of a resident, even if you overstayed on your visa. They will be in the same position. Spouses and children of permanent residents will be put in the same position as spouses and children of U.S. citizens. They're also going to eliminate the per-country limits. So in other words, if you look at the visa waiting list, there's the world, there's India, there's China, there's Philippines, there's Mexico, because they limit the number of people that comes from any particular country. And it has led to a perverse, huge wait from these countries, India and the Philippines especially, where the waits are, for some categories, over 20, 30 years long. All right, I've read 100-year for employment-based cases from India. So the per-country limits are now going to be eliminated. It's just going to be one worldwide immigration limit. We talk about provisional waivers, Yo-Yo and Vanessa. You got to get a provisional waiver. If you're not eligible to adjust your status here, you got to go home. If you don't get the provisional waiver, you'll get stuck for 10 years, the 3 and 10-year bar. What that did was force people who overstayed their visa to never leave America. Because if they left, you would never be able to come back. They are eliminating the 3 and 10-year bars. So if you overstay your visa, you would be able to go home without having to go through the process of doing a provisional waiver to get your green card and come back. They're also going to have people retain priority dates where children aged out. We talk about that a lot. When children age out of cases and we say, sorry, your children aged out, you got to refile for them and then wait another 7, 8, 9 years. Now, if your child ages out and you refile for your child after you get a green card, your child will be put on the waiting list in the same priority date in which your original application was done. So, for example, let's say your mother files for you. And at that time, your mother filed for you in 2015. And when you're eligible for your green card in 2021, I'm making this up. Your child turned 22, no longer on the case, off the case. You come up, you and your child are now separated. You're a permanent resident. You now have to file back for your child. That child waits another 7, 8, 9 years because the priority date resets when you refile for them. Now, under this law, when you refile for your child, you're going to be able to maintain that 2015 priority date, presumably making your child be able to be reunited with you much quicker. They're going to make the definition of a stepchild anybody who is under the age of 21 when your parent marries another one. We've talked about that a lot too. When somebody gets married to a U.S. citizen and the U.S. citizen wants to file for the foreign spouse's children, you had to get married before the child turned 18 or you can't file for that child. So now they're moving it to 21. So as long as the marriage happens before the 21st birthday, your step-parent will be able to file for you. There's a diversity visa lottery that diversifies where people come from, where people from countries that have lower immigration come from, mostly Africa, some Asian countries, some Eastern European countries. They give 55,000 green cards out to diversity visa lottery winners. That is going to be raised to 80,000 people.
Wow.
If we were talking about, especially for Indians, where we said employment-based, some cases the people are going to be on a waiting list for 80, 90 years. If you have a priority date that is more than 10 years old, meaning that your job sponsorship has taken more than 10 years and you still don't have a green card, no matter what your date on the priority list is, you will be eligible to adjust your status and get a green card immediately. We talk about dual intent or non-immigrant intent. And we talk about that especially when we say don't get married in the first 90 days you come here, because then you've made a misrepresentation.
Right.
And because you can't say I'm coming to visit or I'm coming to school and then turn around to get married in 3 days later, because then you've lied to the government. Not for visitors visas, but for students, they're getting rid of that. So you can now be a student and have a dual intent, an intent to come here temporarily and an intent to stay here permanently, which would mean that you can enter as a student and get married the next day because you have a dual intent. There's also a 1-year deadline to file for asylum. If you don't file for asylum within 1 year, or unless there's changed country circumstances, you can never file for asylum for the history of your life. Too bad, go home and get killed.
What?
Yeah, there's a 1-year bar on filing for asylum. You got to file within 1 year of coming here, or forget it.
Oh, from coming here.
From coming to America. That 1 year deadline is going to be eliminated. You can file for asylum whenever you want to if your life is in danger, if you have to go home and you're in a protected group.
Wow.
They're also going to triple the number of asylum officers, maybe quadruple them. They're going to eliminate the entire backlog. We talk about it all the time. My asylum case has been pending for 10, 7, 8, 9 years. When are they going to call me?
There's just so many cases. It's just such a common topic. And even going back to what you were saying before, I really identify with the changes in terms of stepchildren, because that's a big reason how I became a citizen. So when we have that conversation, or when people call in on that, I'm always hoping, for the best for them, because that's really the only reason why I'm a citizen was my remarried.
And by the way, was it your mom or your dad married a U.S. citizen?
My mom married a U.S. citizen.
Okay, so now if your mom married, right now, if your mom marries a U.S. citizen, is that your family?
Yeah, that's my family.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so cute. If your mom marries a U.S. citizen, if your mom married your stepdad, and you had turned 18, you were 18 in a month, you would be in the DR.
Wow.
Right,
yeah,
so
I was
it to 21.
Then in the picture when it happened, so I don't even remember when it happened.
Oh, you're a baby, but it does affect a lot of children who are right at that age. They're not adults, they're not kids, and they get treated as adults. You're over 18, screw you, go home.
Yeah.
Wow.
U visas. There's a 10-year wait on U visas. Donald Trump, he liked to, I hate to say this name, but he liked to go around and say, the immigrants are coming here and they're killing everybody. Well, he found about 5 or 6 immigrants who killed Americans and made a big deal about it. But there's 100,000 or more people who are undocumented, who are the serious victims of crimes by Americans on undocumented aliens, who are in line for a U visa. Those are victims visas. And that line is 10 years long. They're going to raise that number from 10,000 to 30,000. So we're going to make that line a lot faster. They also did for LGBTQ, meaning that now they're going to define a spouse as a permanent partner. And why is that important?
This is huge.
Because you could be in a partnership with somebody who lives in a country that you can't go to that country and marry them because they don't recognize same-sex marriage. They only recognize traditional marriage. And now how do you get this person here? A fiancé visa, perhaps. But what if you're not a citizen? What if you're a resident? You can't do anything. What if you want to come here on a work visa and you want to bring your partner? You can't. Think about all the times when you can't bring your partner because you're not married in that traditional marriage because you come from a country that doesn't recognize it.
Right.
Now, the government is going to recognize a spouse as a permanent partner, meaning that if you can show that this person is your permanent partner, no matter what your, sexual orientation is, they will be put into the position of a spouse in any type of application. I think that's amazing. They're also going to increase the number of green cards given out to low-skilled workers. It's your housekeepers, your nannies, your caregivers of elderly, and people who are working in meat packing and poultry. That's most of the unskilled worker category. That is going to go up from 10,000 to 40,000. Americans need those workers. And what else do I got here?
Ooh,
I can't even read all my.
Let me tell you. In the comments right now, literally, they feel like it's fireworks going on. Like they are loving it, all of this. This is so amazing, and they're very much so thankful, Brad, for you to even break this down. Even though you're saying this isn't even the fully break.
It's not. This is not the full breakdown. This was me reading it really fast and taking furious notes and skipping over stuff that I didn't think mattered.
Right.
So there's probably stuff I skipped over that I didn't even mention here because it literally just came out on the internet. I'm sorry to interrupt you because it literally just came out on the internet an hour and a half or an hour and 15 minutes before you came on the air. So I'm like, oh, it's up here. Here's the law. Finally.
Jeez.
360 pages. Boom. My head exploded. So, and finally, the last thing I saw was science, technology, engineering, and math majors on student visas. There's going to be no waiting list for them to get green cards if they want to stay in America. So our foreign students who are studying in science, technology, engineering, and math, if you have an employer who's willing to sponsor you, you'll be immediately eligible for your green card. That's all I got today.
That's all? That's it?
That's all I got today. Now, I will say, okay, all of this will not pass. Okay, all of this will not pass. And there's other things in there that I probably skipped over, which I'll talk more about on Monday. So all of this will not pass unless the Democrats all agree. And I can't imagine every Democrat agreeing to everything in this bill. And I think in the end, what's going to happen is they're going to do this through something called reconciliation. The Republicans are not going to join on this. If they join, they'll just join on the DREAM Act, but nothing else. And it's going to be pared down a little bit to get all the Democrats to agree. I think what I said, you're going to see 75, 80% of it. It's my opinion. Not 100%, but 75, 80%, I think you're going to see. Now, the other thing is, the other thing is this. When is this all going to happen? When do I get something in my hand? This is all great. Fantastic.
Right.
When do I get something in my hand? Whenever this bill passes, the government has to write a regulation to tell USCIS how to manage these programs. They pass a law that says, if you're part of DACA, you can adjust your status. Well, that's great. What is the procedure that the government is going to want someone to go through? It's called a regulation. What's the form? What do we have to put in the form? All of that's in the regulation. So after the bill passes, they have to do a regulation. For the amnesty portions, the bill says the government must complete regulations within 180 days, meaning the Department of Homeland Security must complete regulations within 180 days of passing the bill. What does that mean? That means let's assume this bill passes in the spring or summer. Then it's going to be another 180 days before this program goes into being. So for the year 2021, don't expect to be filing for amnesty till at least towards the end of the year, because it's going to be 180 days after the bill passes before immigration's going to start accepting applications. By the way, is there anything else happening in the world today?
Wacky world news.
Yes, it is. I guess Julian says, forget it. We're going right to wacky news. Why not? It's good news. Good news, right? Why do we have to talk about anything else, right? Julian says, go right to wacky news. Why not? A woman in New Zealand. So on Thursdays, guys, we do wacky news, just the funniest crap we see from all over the world. A woman has been sentenced in New Zealand after being caught trying to smuggle nearly 1,000 cacti and succulents strapped to her body. Wen King Lee, known as Wendy, pleaded guilty at the Manukau District Court of charges under two separate violations of biosecurity laws. In March 2019, the 38-year-old who lives in Auckland attempted to smuggle 947 succulents and cacti by putting them inside her... That's got to hurt. By putting them inside her stockings. The plants were worth over $10,000. They were endangered and threatened species. They had high commercial value. Simon Anderson, an investigations manager at the Ministry for Primary Industries, said the sentencing was a good reminder that anyone who smuggles plants or other endangered species into New Zealand can expect to be prosecuted. How do you put 100 cactuses in your stockings? How's that even possible?
I want to see what her legs look like.
What pictures do we have of this? How is that even possible?
What?
How'd she sit on the plane?
Maybe she didn't stuff it all the way to the seating part.
I don't know. Well, we're going from New Zealand straight to Australia, where apparently a woman in Australia has been sharing her home with a giant spider for the past year. Yep, Annette Gray has named her unexpected guest Charlotte, from Charlotte's Web, obviously. And it's a giant spider that wandered in one day and decided to stay. According to Gray's son Jake, Charlotte is a huntsman spider, a species that can grow quite large, but is actually pretty friendly. When left alone, huntsman spiders pose no threat to people, and that's the approach Jake's mom's taken towards Charlotte. We have a picture of this spider.
That thing is cute.
You know what the heck is right?
Oh my God.
That is gross.
What? Oh, that's crazy.
I'm saying, Mom, I'm moving out. I don't live with spiders.
What?
Would you kill the spider, Yo-Yo?
No. Like what?
Would you kill it, or would you like take a paper and kind of like shoo it out the back door?
No, no.
You're shooing out the back door. You're gonna shoo out the back door.
I'm calling the super. Like they gotta like vacuum it. Or
no, there's no super. This person lives in a house, Yo-Yo. This is not New York City. There's no superintendent. They got a vacuum.
Dog, look at that. Nah, man, that thing. Woof.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna go now to Saudi Arabia. A roller coaster currently under development in the Middle East is set to smash the existing speed records. It's called Falcon's Flight, and the ride will be the main attraction of Six Flags at Qiddiya, due to open in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh in 2023. According to a press release, the Kiata Investment Company, which is partnered with U.S. Six Flags Entertainment Company, the roller coaster is going to travel 2.5 miles, and it is going to go to a speed of 155 miles an hour down a 525-foot or 160-meter deep valley. No, thank you.
Where'd you say this was at?
In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I say no, thank you.
I say absolutely.
I say no thank you to the 155 mile an hour, 160 meter drop roller coaster.
I'm
Wow.
here for it. I love roller coasters.
You love roller
I
coasters.
love roller coasters too, but I did that steep one in Six Flags once. This sounds crazier than that one.
Yeah, you know what? When I took my kids to Disney World, and I was told the ones at Disney World aren't even like that scary, and I'm like, that was enough for
No.
me. You know,
those are-
when I was on
They're like-
the one in the Animal Kingdom, what is it? When the
Manahorn?
I don't know what it's called. Yeah, the Manahorn. Like the big monster comes out at the end. It's a very nice ride. You go up. It's very pretty. They got flowers. Everything's going good. And then all of a sudden the thing goes crazy. And then as you're shooting down through the mountain, this big monster comes out and goes, "Ah!"
It's the abominable
And I said, the abominable
snowman.
snowman, right. I said, after that, that abominable snowman, he was right in my face. He scared the hell out of me. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go.
I would love to take you on-
I was like, where's a small world? Can you please take me to a small world, please?
Where's
I would love
the
to see you on-
teacup?
What?
I would love to see you on a roller coaster.
No, that abominable snowman scared the hell out of me. All right. And talking about abominable snowmans, we're going to head over to Egypt, staying in the Middle East. Archaeologists working at the burial site in Egypt have unearthed ancient mummies with golden tongues. The team, headed by Kathleen Martinez of the University of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, were working at the Manga Temple in Western Alexandria, Egypt, when they discovered 16 burial shafts dating from the Greek and Roman eras. A number of the mummies in a poor state of preservation were found inside the shafts. According to the Facebook post, the archaeologists discovered remnants of gilded cartonnage, a case made of tightly fitting layers of linen or papyrus glued together, the ministry said, as well as amulets of gold foil in the form of a tongue that were placed in the mouth of the mummy. I wonder why they did gold tongues.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
See,
know.
stuff like that really interests me, and I just hate that, you can't ask anybody because obviously nobody's alive from them. But like, I'd be wondering, like, how can they even figure out what the reason for them doing this is?
I don't know. Why would you get a gold tongue?
I want to know why.
I don't know. Maybe you can do some research and come back to us on next Thursday.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Okay, Yo-Yo's like, I'm sorry.
Extra work, huh?
You're like, Yo-Yo's like, I don't do research, I'm sorry. All right, so we're running late, so we got to get to our immigration questions. Let's get to our braducation. In today's braducation, I explain how someone gets compensated if they are injured on a construction site job in New York. Let's watch.
As a worker in New York, if you get injured, your medical bills get paid through workers' compensation, and you have strict liability to sue for your pain and suffering the owner of the property. If you have workers' compensation, you can't sue your employer, but if you don't have workers' compensation, you can sue your employer. In New York, it's all subcontractors that are working on building. Somebody gets hurt, whoever the employee, let's say, God forbid, I'm the employee, I get hurt, I fall from a height, I break my legs, I can't sue the subcontractor who hired me to go work on the building. Ultimately, it's the property owner who has the insurance and is liable for everything. You don't work for the property owner, you work for the subcontractor who comes in. So you get workers' comp through the subcontractor, and then one of my attorneys who is the property owner, who has an enormous insurance coverage for $20-30 million per incident for injuries and loss of life. Even though New York has rules that make the employer liable without proving negligence, they still don't care because they got the insurance, they build it into the price of the apartments or whatever they're selling, and it is what it is.
All right, you ready for some meat and potatoes, guys?
Yep.
Why not? Why not? Boy, Julian is quick on the trigger today. Very quick on the trigger, Julian. All right, let's go to Miss Bernard in Syracuse, New York. Miss Bernard, how are you?
Yes. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good. I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
If me and my husband, we married on September 23rd, 2020, but I filed a petition form September 30th, 2020. Do you think that's a little too soon, or does it matter?
I don't think it matters as long as it's a real marriage. You know who you're fooling. You're in a real marriage, you're in a real marriage. Whether you file 7 days later or 700 days later, it's real, it's real. So file, get your spouse benefits. I have no problem with that.
Okay, sounds good. My second question is, when my husband goes to his interview at the embassy in Haiti, do he need to bring my tax forms?
Yes.
My tax forms?
Yes.
So he need to bring them even though I upload them on the affidavit support.
Yes, he should bring everything, every document you've provided. He should have copies in case they ask for them again. Don't take chances.
Oh, okay. I got the transit.
Right. Transcript.
Yes, is
That's
that
fine.
okay?
That's fine. Whatever you uploaded, they accepted it. Let him take it. He doesn't have to give it to them and say, here, just leave it on. In other words, when I prepare someone to go to the embassy, I say, this is what you submit. Here's your package. Here's everything that immigration has on you, or we submitted already. Leave it on the side if they ask for it, because you never know. Sometimes it's missing in a file. They have it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, you're right about that. And my second question is, once he get the green card, how long does it take once he get approval when he comes to America to start the work, the authorization work form?
There is no work authorization form. As soon as he gets the immigrant visa, even before he comes to America, they're going to give him a website to go online and pay for the green card to be mailed to whatever your home address is. He should do that immediately. It takes, 12, 16 weeks to get the green card mailed to you. Do it as soon as he gets the immigrant visa, even before he comes to America. And then when he comes to America, the green card will be there. And the green card's his work permit.
So by the time he gets here, because I was worried about when he comes, he cannot start work immediately.
Right.
Okay, sounds good. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to Willard in the Bronx. Willard.
Yeah, hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, and you?
Good. What's going on?
Thank God I'm able to get in today.
Okay, great.
I have some few questions, and I need help. About 2 years ago, that is 2019, I have a suspended license, and the police stopped me, and they took me to the police station. They took my fingerprint, and hello?
I'm listening.
Yes, they took my fingerprint, and they told me to go home, and they found me to go and pay an amount of like $100.
What were you arrested for? Why were you arrested?
DMV court.
Why were you arrested?
So I paid them, and later on, about some few months later, another police also stopped me, and he also asked me that am I have any police stop me before I say yes?
Willard.
Yes, sir.
What is your question?
Okay. The second one just took me to a criminal court.
You're giving me. I don't need an encyclopedia story. Ask me your question.
Okay. They gave me a misdemeanor for a suspended license.
Okay.
So this is the time that I just want to know if I can do my citizen.
When did this happen?
About like 2 years ago.
Yes, a suspended license is not an inadmissible or deportable offense. If you keep driving around with suspended licenses and keep getting arrested, it could show bad moral character, which would prevent you from becoming a citizen. That's a possibility. But one arrest, you have two arrests, one misdemeanor for a suspended license. You've taken care of it. I would file your citizenship. You had a bad day.
So I can do the citizen?
I just told you I would file your citizenship. You had a bad day. It doesn't make you a bad person.
I didn't get that. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, I can. In order to become a U.S. citizen, you need 5 years good moral character. You need to show you're a good person. So
I can do that until 5 years?
Willard, again. Let me start again. In order to file your citizenship, you got to prove good moral character for 5 years. Good moral character means you're a good, decent human being. You don't have to prove good moral character every day and every moment and every breathing second of your life in the last 5 years. You pled guilty to having a suspended license and driving around with it.
Yeah.
You had a bad day. You made a dumb mistake. That doesn't make you a bad person, in my opinion. So I would file. Nothing bad will happen. They may need to show proof that you're a good person, but I would file. What I mean by saying you're entitled to a bad day.
Okay.
Got it?
So,
So
should
Willard,
I say something?
so no, you don't say anything anymore. What you need is a lawyer now, because I've explained it 4 times and you don't get it still. So just get a lawyer or hire me, one or the other. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Monique in Patterson, New Jersey. Monique,
Hi, Brad. How are you?
how you doing?
First time on your show. I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I got my green card in 2019, married to a U.S. citizen.
Right.
So my green card expiring this April 17. When I did my green card, my husband sponsored my kids. They live in Jamaica. So I got an email last year, October, saying that they something like documentary qualify.
Okay.
So now my husband is in jail because of domestic violence because he beat on me with a gun and the cops came and they locked him up.
Okay.
So now I'm worried I'm supposed to get my next green card. I want to know what is my chance of getting my next green card and if
So you have sorry.
this
So
will
you
affect my children.
okay. So you have a 2-year green card.
Yes.
Okay. You would be filing to remove the conditions based on abuse. Your husband got locked up for physically abusing you. There's a record of it because he got locked up and he's in jail now. So I think that's an open and shut case. So you're going to file the I-751 based on abuse. You may want to get divorced from him too, but that's your prerogative. But you would win the case based on abuse. Since your husband's in jail, and I doubt he's going to continue to help your children, you should immediately be filing new I-130 visa petitions for them.
For my kids?
Yes.
Even though they become documentary qualified already?
Yes, because you need your husband to complete the case. He's not going to complete it.
Okay, understood.
Well, if they're documentarily qualified, they still may be able to come because your husband signed everything already, but they may need updated documents from him that you're not going to be able to provide.
Yeah, because they say they get all documents.
Yeah,
and
this is what I would do. This is what I would do. All right, this is what I would do. File I-130s as a backup just in case they have a problem going through.
Okay, so I could still file it while this is still going?
Yeah, that way, because I'm not 100% certain they're going to get through based on what you're telling me. But they would 100% get through based on you refiling for them, and there's nothing wrong with you refiling for them now.
Okay, so should I go, what I'm wondering, should I go ahead and start filing for my next green card now, or should I just wait?
You have to file, no, don't wait till it expires. You file 90 days before it expires.
90 days before?
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
Understand.
All right.
Thank you very much.
But if you file 91 days before, they're not going to accept it. Make sure it's 90 days or less before.
Okay, okay, understood.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck. Blessing in Dallas. Hi, Blessing.
Yes. Good evening, Bryce. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm so blessed. Actually called yesterday, but I didn't got what you say, but the line went off, so that's why I have been waiting since morning to call back today.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
What was your question?
Yeah, my question was that I had a denial letter from my adjustment to our status. I got a denial letter. What do you advise me to do? And secondly, do you have a lawyer around Dallas, Texas?
Okay, so 2 things. All right, 2 things. Why? Let's go with your adjustment. Why was it denied? Why was your adjustment of status denied?
Oh, sincerely speaking, personally I can't explain it, but they actually said a lot of differences between me and my husband.
Oh, that's right. I remember you but you guys live together, but you guys screwed up the interview.
Yeah,
so the answer is you refile again quickly before you get put in deportation. File a new adjustment and do a better job.
I did by myself, and we did by ourselves. So I think this time probably because
you should get a good lawyer.
The intentions of the human beings, I think I would actually want to need a lawyer.
Okay.
So
Now to answer your second question. I do not have an office in Dallas, but any immigration lawyer, including myself, can represent you in any of the 50 states because immigration's a federal law. It's not state law. And now immigration is allowing attorneys to represent their clients by telephone or video conference. So when you go into an interview in Dallas, your lawyer is on the phone representing you or on video conference. So the reality is you can have a lawyer representing you in all 50 states. If you hired a lawyer in Dallas, Texas, they would be on the phone or by video conference, the same as a lawyer in New York or California. So it's all the same at this point now.
Wow.
So the point being is, if you want to hire me, you can. It's going to be the same as hiring a lawyer in Dallas. It's the same thing.
Wow, that's a hard one.
Why is that a hard one? It's an easy one.
That's a hard one, actually,
No, it's an
because
easy
I
one.
think physically we were terrified by the responses of the officers. So we kind of being scared of, trying to go with a lawyer or something.
Well, then right now, because of COVID, lawyers aren't allowed in. So you go in without a lawyer,
Right.
but the lawyer's there by telephone representing you. It's the same thing as being physically there. And if there comes a point, there's an airplane, we can fly there to you. Hold on one second, all right?
Okay.
All right, let's go to Kofi in Brooklyn.
Hello?
Hi, Kofi.
Yeah, hello, Brad. Yeah, it's my first time here as well. Thank you. I have a quick one. So, my I-360 got approved, and I filed I-360 with I-485, and the I-360 got approved just last week. The problem is that I had a misdemeanor, but destroying my girlfriend's cell phone, and if the I-360 still got approved after I provided additional evidence. So I want to know during the interview, are they going to ask me about it, and what should I tell them if they do?
I'm confused. You're doing an abuse case, and what's on the telephone?
Hello?
Yeah, I didn't understand your question, Kofi. You're doing an I-360 abuse case.
Yeah,
and
so
I don't understand.
I
I don't understand what you said, but with the telephone.
No, I said I filed an I-360 and an I-485.
I understand that.
2019. Hello?
Kofi, I understand that. I don't understand your question. So repeat it to me, please.
Yeah, my question is the I-360 was approved. Now, the I-485 is still pending because she was a U.S. citizen and I have applied. So my question is that I had a misdemeanor during the time when I applied the I-360.
So you will need to bring that disposition with you to the interview because you have to show you're a person of good moral character to get your green card. What is the misdemeanor for?
For destroying my girlfriend's cell phone.
Okay. Oh, that's what it was. All right. So,
Yes.
so I assume you didn't go to jail, and this has happened in New York. It would be a petty offense. So it's not going to prevent you from.
The case was dismissed just yesterday.
It's dismissed. Then okay, so be it. Bring the disposition with you. You bring the disposition with you. You have to admit it.
Oh, okay.
It won't affect your green card.
Are you 100% sure?
I know the law. I'm 100%
if
sure I know the law.
Asked me.
Kofi, you need a lawyer then. Hold on. I just told you the answer. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Go get a lawyer. Sandra in San Francisco.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I have a question. I'm a permanent resident with a 10-year green card.
Right.
And I have my daughter that living with me. I filed for her I-130, and she has been approved, but her documents is in Jamaica ANVC because she overstayed on her visa here.
Right.
I was wondering if is there anything I could do to finish file for her here, or I have to wait until I become a citizen.
How old is she?
She's 13.
And how did you get your green card?
Through marriage.
And what? And where is your spouse now?
We have been divorced.
I see. Yeah. The answer. Well, where? Let me ask you this question. Where is the biological father?
In Jamaica.
Does she have a relationship with him?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I was going to say the answer is yes, you have to wait on your citizenship in order for her to adjust. If you were listening at the top of the program, she would be in the F2A category. If the Biden immigration law changes, she will consider an immediate relative, whether you're a citizen or not, so she would be able to adjust. Or your other alternative could have been a special immigrant juvenile if she can show that she was abandoned by her biological father in Jamaica, but in fact she has a relationship with him, so she wasn't abandoned, because then you can do a special immigrant juvenile here. So the answer is wait for the immigration laws to change, or wait for your citizenship if you don't want her to go home. But if she goes home, she won't have any problem.
If she go home, she won't have any problem?
Zero. Because whatever she did to come here and overstay, they can't hold it against a 13-year-old.
Okay, so she could go back and then I'll finish, but I still have to wait until I become a citizen, right?
No. If she gets called for an interview and you have a good affidavit of support, make sure it's a good affidavit of support. You can send her home. She'll go home.
It's been a year. It's been 1 year.
Well, then maybe you need a lawyer to see what's going on. But in other words, if she gets an appointment back home, she doesn't leave until she gets that appointment. When she goes home, she'll be home for about 2 weeks, and they'll call her in for an interview. And at that interview, they're going to say, "Where's your affidavit of support?" "Here it is." "How old are you?" Okay, if it's good, it's good. 13-year-old, we don't have to worry about criminal records. 13-year-old, we don't have to worry about misrepresentation. 13-year-old, we don't have to worry about overstaying on a visa. You're the mom. You have a green card. You gave an affidavit of support. End of story. And she'll come back. So the only thing that could prevent her from coming back is a bad affidavit of support. Just make sure you have a good lawyer. Make sure it reviews and has a good affidavit of support.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Winsome in San Diego.
Hello, Mr. Brad.
Hi,
how are you?
How you doing?
Good, good. How are you? Please, Mr. Brad, I have these questions. So I told you before, if you remember me, that I'm an asylum seeker's administrative closer. I have I-130 approved. Okay, so during the waiting for the bill to pass, okay, if my current date is on April 10th, 2017, so I have like on filing date about 6 months, okay, so 6 months, about a year, stuff like that. So I need to, I don't know how it will affect me, the Amnesty or the Citizenship Act.
What do you mean you don't know how it's going to affect you? I don't know how it's going to affect you either. I just said what the bill is. We don't know what the final bill is going to be.
Right. I was asking because if I can adjust status here before I leave to another country to adjust to
Who's
do
sponsoring
the
you?
consular
Who's sponsoring you?
My mom.
Okay. So do you have the provisional waiver approved?
Oh well, because I'm in asylum pending. Is that legal or illegal?
You can't go back to your home country to
Correct.
pick up your green card if you have asylum pending, because then you lied to the government, because you get now so you need a third country to accept you. Most likely, so you have to request a third country to accept you. If you filed for asylum within your first year of entry, within your first 180 days of entry into America, then you don't need a waiver. If you file between 180 and a year, you need a waiver because you're out of status for at least 180 days. So I don't know how long you're out of status before you file for asylum, if you were out of status at all.
Well, Mr. Brad, because sorry, I want to tell you this because my humanitarian parole is expired, and they don't renew it for me anymore. I don't know why, but I don't have any criminal records. I don't have anything. It's just my question is if I
Winsome. Okay, if you're not getting your work permit, there's a problem with your asylum. My answer, I answered it. Okay, I don't know why people don't listen to me today. It's like going in one ear and out the other. You need a third country. You can't go back to your home country. When you go to a third country, you don't have a 3 or 10 year bar as long as you filed for asylum before 180 days of being out of status in America.
Yeah, once I did apply, yes.
Then you don't have a problem. Just go to the third country. But maybe you do have a problem because you just told me you don't get your work permit through asylum anymore. You don't know why. That's a problem.
No, because I don't finish my clock. Because I administrative closer before I finish the priority my clock.
Okay. All right, hold on.
But Mr. Brad, the amnesty.
What about it?
Oh, the amnesty is going to affect me in any chance?
I don't know enough about you, Winsome. Hold on 1 second, all right? And we can have a consultation. Will you get an amnesty? I don't know. Andy in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Andy.
Hi, good evening, Brad.
How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you.
What's going on?
I got 2 questions. The first one being, I have an approved I-130 form. However, the interview is coming up, and they're asking me to have my interview in my country of birth. I'm out of status, and I was wondering how I go about getting it changed from my country of birth to the United States.
Who sponsored you?
Here.
Who sponsored you?
My brother.
Okay. Do you have a mother or father here?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you have a spouse here that's legal? Spouse that's legal. Spouse that's legal.
No, I don't have my spouse is here, but she's with me.
Okay. And did you ever, besides your brother filing for you, did you ever file anything else with immigration?
No, sir.
All right. So if you go home, you'll be stuck for 10 years. There's no provisional waiver for you. So don't do it.
Right.
And if you adjust your status here, you can't unless you had something filed before April 30th, 2021. So for all intents and purposes, this brother application for you is worthless at the moment. But hopefully Biden's bill passes and you'll be able to take advantage of something. So
Okay.
Just hang in there.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, I'm also wondering about the what is it, Child Status Protection Act. Is my children eligible to receive a green card under this act?
No.
No?
No, because you're not getting one.
Okay. So I just have to wait and see.
Correct.
And okay. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
All right.
Go ahead.
OG in San Antonio.
Hello, bro.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing,
Good.
sir?
What's going on?
Yeah. I got 3 questions, sir. The first one is, I want to know if the amnesty passes, is it going to work for people who already applied for asylum? That's the first question. And if it passes, are there still provisions for essential workers? Because I listened to
There's nothing for essential workers. I'm not sure about asylum. I got to read through it again. And what's your third question?
Sir.
And what's your third question?
Okay. The other one is, do you have to be in the United States for 4 years before you could qualify for the?
No, you have to be in the United States out of status on January 1st, 2021. For the DREAM Act, it's 4 years.
Okay. My last question,
This
sir,
is fourth
is
question now. You said 3, but I'll.
yes, sir. The last one is, can you pull out your asylum application, then go apply for the amnesty if it passes through?
If you're able to, yes. Why not? Let's see what happens. I got to read through the bill again. As I told you, I read through it very fast.
Okay, so thank you, sir. That's all my question. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Chris in Seattle.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I have a couple of questions. So, my green card expired in 2015, and I want to go renew it, but I have a bunch of stuff from the 90s that is worrying me.
What's the stuff from the 90s?
So, in 1991, I was 17, and I got a robbery 2 B felony charge.
A robbery 2 money laundering?
No, it was, we got into a fight with some guys, and I got into a car that they took.
Okay, did you go to jail?
Yeah, I went to juvenile detention jail for 30 weeks.
Were you considered a juvenile? Were you through family court? As a juvenile? It was juvenile detention. It was not a criminal court.
No, it wasn't an adult court. I was charged as a juvenile.
Okay. Is that your only offense?
Oh, no.
Okay, because juvenile doesn't count for immigration. What's next?
Okay, so 1993, I got an assault 4.
Did you go to jail?
For a day.
Okay. You were found guilty. I don't know what assault 4 is in Washington. Is that felony, misdemeanor? I don't have no idea.
I think it's a misdemeanor.
Right. How many times have you been arrested?
1997.
1 second. Just tell me quickly. How many times have you been arrested?
Not counting the juvenile, so I won't count the juvenile.
Yeah.
As an adult, let's see, 1, 2, 2 times I've been arrested and taken to jail, but then I have 3 marijuana possession charges.
That's all arrests. I would be worried about renewing your green card because you've been arrested like 5, 6 times, and probably many of them ended up in some sort of conviction. Let's take a look at everything and see what you're eligible for. So hold on one second. Let's go to James in Minneapolis. Hi, James.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, sir.
What's going on?
I just want to ask a few questions, sir. I have a condition, CR1 green card that I actually applied to renew.
Mm-hmm.
So when I renewed it, they gave me 18 months. Then I lost that 18-month extension. So I went to the USCIS office, and eventually I asked them for if I could get another one. So they asked me, they looked at my record because I took the old one, the 2 years on, and they took it back from me. And they said I should just take a picture of it. So my question is basically, is it normal for them to do that?
To do what?
To be able to take the expired green card.
I'm confused. What happened? I'm sorry. Tell me again.
I couldn't hear you, sir.
Tell me again what happened. They took your expired green card. What was the problem?
Yeah, they just took it. They gave me is it like a paper?
Okay, so if your green card expired, they take it back and they put a stamp in your passport or on an I-94. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, that's normal.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, I didn't understand this question. Okay. Juliet in Chicago.
Hi, Uncle Brad.
How are you?
Good. Uncle Brad, I applied for adjustment of status,
Yes.
and I got an RFE because I didn't include the public charge form. I actually filed February 24th exactly, and I was hoping that somehow I would have been able to jump over that one. But turns out they sent me an RFE, and at the time I was to respond to that. That was when there was an injunction that made the UIS pull down the public charge from their website. So I went to the website. I printed out what was there.
Juliet,
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're saying. You filed an adjustment, you got an RFE, and what happened? I don't know why I'm not understanding everybody tonight. It's one of those nights. So what happened after you got the RFE?
Yes, I responded to the RFE, sent the screenshot from their website to them because they asked me to file the public charge form, but it wasn't there on their website anymore. So I just put it. I put what
Yeah, I
I
know,
found.
but you still have to do it. So that's the problem. That's why you haven't gotten a work permit yet. You got to do the I-944 form.
Yeah. So when I sent it to them, the response they accepted it and sent me my work
Okay. So
permit and
all right. So
travel
what's
documents.
your problem today?
I'm going for my interview soon. Should I
Bring it. You have to bring it with you. Yes, you're gonna
Okay.
want it. The 944. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Just ask the question, guys. You go through an entire history that all could have been asked in. I didn't file my I-944 form. Do I need to bring it to my interview? Would have been a lot easier to understand. Let's go to Precious in Plainfield, Illinois.
Good evening, Uncle Brad. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. I do have 5 questions for you today.
5?
Sorry so much. Yes, 5 questions.
All right. It's one of those days. All right. What are your 5 questions?
I know. So the first one is the U.S. currently issuing visas to Ghanaians?
There are visas being issued to everybody around the world if you qualify. But right now there is a proclamation against all quota-based immigrants and all new visas. But if you are married to an American citizen, you can still be exempt if you can show humanitarian reasons. So Ghana is like everybody else around the world. There's nothing special for Ghana.
Okay, so even student visas are not being issued right now?
Correct.
Oh, my God.
Just renewals are.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to skip to the fourth one then, because that just...
Precious, what are your questions?
answered
Quickly,
everything.
I'm falling asleep here. What are your questions? Tell me what your questions are.
Okay, so I just received my prima facie determination letter.
Right.
What do I expect next after the letter? And
An
also,
interview for
would
your
it
green
take
card.
Sorry?
An interview for your green card is what you should expect next.
Okay, and does it take exactly 1 year to get a final decision
No, it
from
doesn't
the
take
immigration?
No, it doesn't take exactly 1 year. It takes 2 years, 3 years, could take 18 months. I don't know where you got exactly 1 year from. It doesn't take any particular time.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. That was 2. Jody in Hartford, Connecticut.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Brad. How are you? Question is, I've been married to my husband for 4 years. I've been out of status. I overstayed my visa. I got approved for I-130 and also my work permit. Now my interview has been scheduled for I-485. My husband sent in his paperwork for a citizen. He didn't get back a letter yet apart from the notice letter, but I'm a little bit scared of going in for the interview because I overstayed. Is that an issue?
You're married to a resident or a citizen?
A resident.
When you filed your adjustment, you were in legal status?
Yes.
Then you have no worries.
Oh, thank God.
All right?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy. Oh, my God. It's only water. Only water here. Yo, Vanessa, you didn't leave me any tequila tonight. I need tequila here after those
One of those
calls.
nights,
It's
Brad.
one of those nights. Where's my tequila?
The 1942.
Yeah, something. It's one of those nights. All right.
It is.
Ay. All right. What are we doing? I always do this after. I'm like, what are we doing now?
Right.
If you did get your immigration question answered and you have a succinct question you could ask me, follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I do answer all the questions there, and it may take me a couple days. I'm sometimes slow, but I will get back to everybody within 2 or 3 days maximum. So drop me your questions there at RealBradBernstein. If you can't handle 2 hours of this show, then follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live, because then you only have 2 minutes of it. Maybe I'm going to start following at Brad Show Live.
So you can only see 2 minutes?
I can only do 2 minutes.
I don't think that rule goes for you.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So I'll still do 2 hours here. Yo, what do you got?
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
By the way, I think Elizabeth, who said this? Monica Stone said, Brad, I need a shot of Jamaican rye and Ray and nephew. That's rum. That's rum. I like rum too.
Yeah.
All right. And later, I'm going to speak with internationally acclaimed violinist Bella Hristova about her musical career and immigration journey from Bulgaria to the United States of America.
Absolutely. And right before we start our social media check-in, in today's attorney close-up, Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre-Mengret answers the question, are men also covered under the Violence Against Women's Act, which is VAWA?
Have a large number of male victims that come in. 1 in 10 men will experience abuse, intimate sexual violence, partner violence, domestic violence in America. That's a really staggering number if you think about it, right? That's almost shocking, because for women, I guess you understand that when you hear that, I mean, I'm shocked by it. For women, 4.8 million women are deemed to suffer intimate partner violence. But for men, it's almost very surprising. And a lot of times men tend to be very embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. And it really takes some time sitting down and being able to listen to your client and to hear the story of what they're going through, and taking that time to say, you know what, I want you to understand that you are basically facing domestic violence, emotional abuse. I've had clients that are men that have come in and they were in a very, what seemed to be a happy relationship, and financially things are going bad. And usually sometimes that's what happens with some men. Financially, they lose their job, or maybe they were in their country and they had this really glamorous job and it was like almost kind of like a long distance dating. They come here to the United States, and next thing you know, the spouse is angry. Like, wait, what happened? What do you mean you can't support me? What do you mean you don't have the money to be able to contribute? And they're just angry because, again, what they were expecting, this glamorous life, no longer exists, because now you have to work hard and either money is not coming in, they can't find a job, language sometimes can be an issue, and the wives end up being very verbally abusive and making the man feel less than. The man ends up becoming depressed. A lot of times the wives will take it out on the stepchildren. And a lot of times the children are like, I'm just afraid to go outside of my room because I feel that basically I'm going to be attacked. A lot of times I'm afraid to come out of my room because I see how she's talking to my dad. So at that point, basically, a lot of times men don't realize it and they almost kind of blame themselves, but that in itself is abuse. You should not feel less than. No one should make you feel like you are nobody. And again, if it becomes a practice, a pattern and practice of this happening on an everyday basis or even on an every week basis, it's not acceptable. It is extremely cruel. And that is the standard that people have to keep in mind.
All right, let's get some social media check-in, guys. What do you got?
Okay, first one comes from La Kitty on YouTube. Good evening, Uncle Brad. Applying for a VAWA on I-485. What is the last immigration status since? This is.
It's one of those days, Yo-Yo. It's one of those days. All these questions. Start again.
This is crazy. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Show a man on YouTube. How can one prove extreme hardship based of a U.S. citizen spouse that USCIS stated that you misrepresented and did fraud to get a visitor's visa?
How do you prove it? It's emotional. It's emotional. It could be you have a medical condition. Your spouse is going to have an emotional breakdown by not being able to see you. It could be economic hardship, emotional hardship, physical, mental hardship, other humanitarian reasons. We have to interview you. It's like an hour interview to figure it all out. I don't hear you, Vanessa.
Oh, we don't hear you.
Sorry, I just always try to block out the background noise. Denisha Kumar Pandit on YouTube. My wife is a green card holder in the U.S. and she is a frontline ICU nurse for 14 months. We have applied for EB3 category visa and already submitted DS-260 form and waiting for visa interview date. How long do we have to wait?
Until the proclamation is over and then sometime after that. But because you're a frontline worker, actually, you're outside of the proclamation, as I come to think about it. If everything is submitted, hopefully you'll get a visa appointment very shortly.
Okay, Zoo on Facebook. How long is the processing time for adjustment of status through Asylum? I've applied since September 2018, so what should I do?
File a mandamus. If you're waiting for an adjustment and it's more than 2 years, you should be filing a mandamus, which is a lawsuit against the government to force them to do their job. Their job is to adjudicate your case in a timely manner. And if you're waiting 3-4 years for an adjustment through Asylum, you should be filing a mandamus, or at least a threat of a mandamus.
Tina Reedy on YouTube, do you need to be staying in the U.S. for 4 years before January 21st to be qualified for the amnesty for undocumented?
You have to be staying in the U.S. for 4 years before Biden signs the bill.
Okay, and Rafayette Taiwo on YouTube, can one file with a tax ID used to obtain a driver's license, and how?
Yeah, can one file to obtain a driver's license with a tax identification number? Is that the question? The answer is no, you can't. Okay, almost every state outside of New York, you don't have to prove legal status, but almost any other state, maybe there's 1 or 2 other states you have to prove legal status, and the tax ID number doesn't prove anything.
Talis Carter on YouTube. Hi, Brad. I got an email from NBC saying my kids are documentarily qualified. What does that mean, and how long before an interview comes?
It means that you did all the paperwork right. They got to transfer it to the embassy, and hopefully you schedule an appointment soon. I don't know what category you're in, though, so I can't tell you when the appointment will be.
Okay, Talis Carter on YouTube. Hey, Brad, I got an email from NBC saying my kids are documented qualified. What does this mean, and how long before an interview comes?
See my answer to the last question, Vanessa. It's the same question twice from 2 different people.
Yeah.
Me on YouTube. Hello, Brad. For people already in removal proceedings, do they qualify for the amnesty when the bill is passed?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Christoph on Facebook. So my friend's mom got married to a U.S. citizen when my friend was 20. Can my mom's husband file for my friend?
No, because he got married after 18. But if Biden's bill passes, then the answer would be yes.
Awesome.
Adriana T on YouTube. If you have completed your green card interview and yet to receive your green card, should you still renew your work permit if it expires in May?
Yes, you should.
Okay, Delvic David on YouTube. Can a refugee or an asylum seeker who has been granted a green card let his spouse join him in the U.S.?
Yes, as long as you were married before the asylum was granted. 2 more, guys.
Ema Ramanarian on YouTube. Good evening. Can you please provide me with any information about family-based F1 category who is waiting on an interview since January of 2020, and anything on the visa ban?
April 1st, the ban is over unless Biden extends it. So hopefully sometime after April, you'll be able to get a visa appointment.
Okay, and last one is from Renee on Facebook. What if someone recently migrated but is still technically in legal status here for 4 months? Will they fall under the Biden Reform Act?
What was the status?
Migrated but is still technically in legal status here for 4 months.
You have to be undocumented or out of status on January 1st, 2021. Now, it's possible you came on a visitor's visa and began working immediately, then you're undocumented, even though you still have a legal status because you violated your visa status. So, everybody's different. All right, with that being said, what? I'm sorry, you? Was that it?
I was just saying, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just kind of gave her a hint what to do. Bella Hristova came to America from Bulgaria when she was 13 years old to study violin. Today, Bella is an award-winning, internationally acclaimed violinist who has performed all over the world. She joined me to discuss her immigration story, her career, and reaching her American dream. Let's watch. Bella Hristova was born in Pleven, Bulgaria, to Russian and Bulgarian parents. Bella came to America from Bulgaria alone when she was only 13 years old to study the violin. Bella is now an internationally acclaimed violinist, known for her passionate, powerful performances, beautiful sound, and compelling command of her instrument. Bella is with me today to discuss her immigration story from Bulgaria to America and her incredible career as a violinist. Bella, welcome, and thanks for coming on our show.
Hi, Brad. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be joining you today.
Oh, great. So let's first watch a video of you. We have a video of you playing the violin. I want to watch and listen and give everybody an opportunity to see your incredible talent. Let's watch. Wow. That people don't. I mean, I'm sure most people don't realize how talented you have to be, and what an amazing violinist you are. That was incredible to have played that and done that. So you grew up in Bulgaria, poor, right?
Yes.
You did not come from a wealthy family, I assume. And Bulgaria is one of the poorest countries, I think, in Europe, if not the poorest.
Yes, it is, and it still is. And I was born under communism in '85. And I was born in Bulgaria. My name Bella. I only recently, just a few months ago, became Bella legally. My full name was Beloslava, which is what my mom had to name me under communism because it was a Bulgarian name and Bella is not.
I guess when you became a citizen, you were able to change your name to anything you wanted.
Yes, I was able to change my first name.
And congratulations, Sue, you became a citizen, so congratulations.
Thank
and we're going to find out about your immigration story. But when your mom, I guess, forced you or pushed you or suggested, what would be the right word in terms of you taking up the violin?
She encouraged it. I actually was very happy to play the violin also. I grew up around music. My dad was a Russian composer, so there was always music in the house. I was listening to his songs.
You started when you were 6?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what actually goes into, as a young child prodigy, I guess, as a violinist, the amount of hours and time and effort and the things that you feel you've missed out on.
I think nobody likes to practice. It's just something you have to do. So if you enjoy seeing the results from your practice and if you want to get better, it's just something you have to do. It's like athletes you can't only want to play in the games, you have to do the training. So to give you more specifics, I think I've been practicing maybe 4 hours a day while I was in high school. Before that in Bulgaria, I was probably doing a little less, maybe three or 4. My mom and I had different schedules in Bulgaria, so she would often have me audio tape on a cassette tape my practice throughout the day so that I could show her and hand her cassette tapes. Here's my 3-4 hours of practice.
That you did it. Whose idea was it to send you, 13 years old, without a mom, without a dad, send you on an airplane and drop you off in America and say best of luck to you?
Right.
Whose idea was that?
My mom knew that I had to get out of Bulgaria in order to have opportunities. So I think it was a great sacrifice for her to do that. I went to a high school, to a Steiner school, so they were the ones that would sponsor me for the visa.
Tell us a little bit about that school. What is that school?
It's a private school, and it's Waldorf education. So I didn't speak English when I came here at 13. So it's a very small school. So they were sort of able to help me with the language, and then I was having violin lessons, not there, but at the University of Michigan. Which is where I was.
That's my alma mater.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. That's where I went to, but nobody gave me a violin lesson there.
Those 4 years were very difficult for me for a number of reasons. But I think they've shaped me into the person that I am today, and I became independent at a very young age.
So you went to college here. How did you go from student visa to a green card? You want to share that with us a little bit?
Yes. So while I was in Michigan, I applied for a green card as alien of extraordinary ability. So the whole process took 4 years. I was already in college here in Philadelphia when I finally did get the green card.
Right.
But so the first round, I had to supply a number of letters from violinists that are renowned, saying that I basically deserve to be here based on my ability.
That you're a top violinist.
Right. So 2 years after I applied, we got a letter from the INS. It would be not the IRS.
Right.
The
INS, right, which is now USCIS, but at the time it was the INS.
USCIS. Oh, right. Okay. This is right when I had gotten into Curtis, which is, it has the lowest acceptance rate in all of the U.S. at about 3-4%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a top-notch school, and to have gotten into it was a huge deal for me. And the letter said, if she's as good as you claim, how come she's not going there to be a teacher? And she's going there to be a student. So then we had to supply another round of letters explaining why I was going there as a student, but why I still deserve to get the green
extraordinary
card.
ability, right?
In 2005, I finally got my green card.
Right, and then you became a citizen recently. The violin that you were playing in that video, I understand it's a very special violin. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, well, that instrument is on loan to me, on very generous loan to me, and it's a Niccolo Amati violin. It was made in Italy in 1655. It has a beautiful sound, and it's like a part of my musical voice.
Now, I understand you participated in a project with NPR, National Public Radio, featuring 6 different musicians who are either first or second generation immigrants here to America or Americans. You tell me who they were, and tell me a little bit about this project.
That was a very moving project for me because it was shortly after I had applied to become a citizen. I think I was the oldest of the 6, and the youngest was maybe 9 or 10. So It was very sweet for the 6 of us. You know, we spent a day together, really being like tourists in New York City. We went to Ellis Island, which I'd never gone to before. We went to the Statue of Liberty. It was very moving to be there, and we were being filmed the whole way. And also we rehearsed that day and filmed the following day the arrangement of what Chris O'Reilly did of This Land Is Our Land, and he wove in all 6 of our national anthems.
And it's amazing, you said music is the international language, and here people are playing music, different instruments that come from all corners of the earth and playing the same song. It really is. So you're now living here 20 years. Do you think you've reached your American dream, or is there something more that you need to achieve? You're married, you have an unbelievable career, you're a citizen.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate with my life right now. You know, musicians, I think they're improving their whole lives. You're always learning constantly, even when you're long out of school. So just by playing concerts and playing with your colleagues. So you're always learning. But I feel very fortunate with where I am now.
So Bella, where can people find out more about you? Is it you have a website or a YouTube channel or?
Yes,
or
I have all of these. I have, yes, it's bellahristova.com. I think it's Bella Hristova Violin on YouTube, Bella Hristova Violin on Instagram, Bella Hristova on Twitter and Facebook.
Thank you very much, Bella, for coming on. You're a really talented, wonderfully talented violinist, a very nice person to chat with, and of course, wish you all the best of luck in the future and appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you for having me. Thank you for what you do.
I appreciate it. Thanks. All right, let's do speed round. 9 questions in 50 seconds. I'm going to try to answer. I'm sure they will all be extraordinarily convoluted. It's 7 parts, 6 sections. We're still going to try to answer them all. Or maybe they'll be easy. Let's see.
Hopefully.
All right.
Yo, my Gmail's frozen.
Mine just froze. I legit was about to say, take it for me.
I'm refreshing as the violin was going, and it just all shut down.
Interesting.
Hey, man.
All right. Goodness. So the answer is yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Pass. Yes, no.
Hold on. We gonna get this.
I got it. Julian said I got all the answers right.
There it is. Okay, here.
You ready?
Hold on. Almost there. I'm almost there.
Almost there.
You're almost there.
But you know what's very funny is you're just like, it's somewhere in the clouds. It's like you're not even here.
Okay, we got this.
You got it? Let's go.
All right, we got it.
Ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Ready?
Let's go.
Can your boss or your best friend file for your green card?
Your boss can.
If undocumented, am I eligible for Biden's amnesty?
Perhaps.
Is USCIS accepting applications for non-immigrant visas?
Yes.
Overstayed my visa, will I be deported at my I-485 interview?
No.
Is there a ban on the F2 category?
At the moment, yes.
Can an asylee with a misdemeanor travel?
Depends what the misdemeanor is.
Can I travel outside of the country with a pending N400 application?
Yes.
Will Biden get rid of ICE?
Don't know yet.
After I-360 approval, how long will it take until I get an interview date?
About a year.
Yes. Come on. Something might happen.
I'm not even celebrating tonight. One of those legs. Wow. All right, I'll celebrate.
We got
All right, I'm okay now. Cranky Uncle Brad today.
Wow.
I was very cranky today.
I see.
Yes.
Technical difficulties
I
left
was
and right.
very cranky Uncle Brad.
These are the times I wish we were at the studio so we can head to the bar after.
Yeah,
Oof.
exactly.
Miss those nights.
When are you coming back to the studio, man?
And vaccine.
Vaccine. So it's be a few months. You'll be back.
Yeah.
A few months, you
Jeez.
guys will be back. Sheesh. What the heck,
Sorry.
man? What a year.
Let's get the comments of the day and wrap up our show for today.
Vanessa has somewhere to go. All right, comments of the day.
It is 8:30.
True.
Trying to keep us on track, squad.
Yes,
I'm
okay.
just trying to keep us on track.
We were just having a conversation amongst ourselves. We forgot we were on the show.
Wet sugar. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Our first comment of the day comes from Kiki K. Marie saying, "Thank you so much for the breakdown, Brad. You're a godsend for so many who are living in fear."
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. Comes from Kimberlyn Burris saying, "My daily dose of medicine. I look forward to the show every day. Literally, my medicine. # my happy place."
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
Oh,
That's so sweet.
I saw Carlene. All right, and our next one comes from March Higgs saying, "We don't need to read the bill when we have the immigration guru to read it and break it down in layman's terms for us to understand. We can depend on you."
Oh, thank you very much, Marge. I appreciate that.
So they're not even going to read it,
They're
Brad.
not
They're
going to
just
read it
going
now. You can read it. It's online. You can read it.
Alrighty, and our comes from Carlene. Carlene, wonderful show, very informative. Thanks so much, Brad, for all the wonderful information you have been giving to us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Is that it?
Let's do it. Yes, that's it.
All right, let's do it. All right. Somewhere we're going where there's alcohol. We'll see you all. Have a great weekend, guys. Tomorrow we're off. We'll be back Monday. I'm going to reread the bill like 1,000 more times. I'll have a lot more information to tell you. We'll see how it's going in Congress. And I'll be back on Monday to answer more immigration questions. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.